Oh man, guys, it's been a while. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's been quite a while since we've done some of this, and it's been a while since I've actually kind of sat here and made content simply for myself. It's been a while. It's crazy. Um, last time I was channel, I think we were doing the episode of the lounge. Crazy stuff happened. Yeah, it's been a while to say the least, but here we are. We're back. Um, we're back. You know, in case you haven't known some other stuff, helping other people, and right now all that kind of stuff, it's on a little bit of a hold for a moment. So it's kind of nice to sit here, have some time to kind of do some stuff do some stuff on here. It's nice to just have this moment of time. Most people know I work during the week. It's been quite a while since we had one of these. So, to sit here and just have simple, relaxing time, talk about a little bit of stuff. Miss Farina, nice to see you. It's just, it's been a while. That's honestly all I can honestly say is it's been a while. And most people know that I'm not the biggest, open invitation kind of a person, never really was, but it's nice to sit here and just have this kind of time. I always wanted to do, many people know, I always wanted to do daytime stuff. Like, it was never that, it was like a little bit of a thing that, like, I always talk about because I always want to do live on cut. I always wanted to have it run in the daytime, kind of like a daytime little, kind of like a nighttime, like, I kind of wanted to bring a lot of that stuff tonight that I do today. I think that's the best way to really put it. I want to do a lot of that stuff. I wanted to bring it into daytime, but I never really was able to, mainly because one, working a day job and trying to do a daytime show and trying to do a daytime program on top of that. For me, the time I wanted to do it in was the time most I'd be working in or the time I'd be coming home. So it was very much not possible to do that kind of scenario, to have a night program, to have a day program. And there are many times where I was able to do day change time to time, but I don't want to say I really found my footing with it. I think a lot of people really I think a lot of people really enjoyed the night stuff. And I understand why, because there's a lot of great stuff in that night content that I was doing. And don't get me wrong, I still want to do that night content because, I feel like, we were just reaching the apex of it. But trying to do that day stuff, but trying to do a lot of that day stuff in the morning, but trying to do a lot of that night stuff and try to bring that stuff to a daytime climate, it's like pulling a rabbit out of your ass. You don't know how you're going to do it. And then figuring it out, it's like you have to bring it. It's like so many various parts put together. And don't get me wrong, maybe one day there will be daytime live uncut. I think that one day will always be my vision to do daytime live and uncut. Bring a lot of that stuff, like, bring a lot of that stuff in tonight and bring it daytime. But also, I have to twist it up a lot of stuff. And I do want to twist that up because, like I said, there's a bunch of enjoyable stuff. There's lots of peasable, twistable stuff that makes it very entertaining. And I feel like there's something in both shows that can make them both very authentic and different. Kind of like how Match Game PM had its own very specialty to it, compared to its daytime counterpart. I'm gonna be saying it's been a while because it really has been a while because I don't even remember. I really don't remember the last time like I've done a stream kind of like this because it's just been a while. And I don't know. I can't really put that on I can't really put that on somebody else. And other than myself, because mainly because this is my channel, I control the direction, I control the narrative of everything that goes on. And yeah, it's been a while. But in case you haven't been keeping up, like in case like YouTube wise haven't been keeping up with me, most people know I do, I work with David for Children 2000 Hangouts. That's the most funnest thing. Like, it's the most casual program during it's the most casual program for night. It's the most casual program of, like, if you're up late at night and you're fucking bored as shit and you got nothing else to do, watch Children 2000 Hangouts, because it was like, those 10 o'clock episodes, those were fun. Those reminded me of, like, when I was on here at 10 o'clock at night. Those were some fun episodes. Andrew, hey, what's up, man? Not a lot. No, not a whole lot. You know, and it's just it's very nice, because there are a lot of people who I've met and I really enjoyed kind of meeting, and there's a lot of people who, they're like my circle of peeps. They're like my circle of peeps, because most people, I don't have that big circle, mainly for tons of reasons. But the people that I do have in my circle of peeps, those guys, those are my dudes. Those are the people who I'll fuck with any day of the week, any day of the week, and I'll put them on any chance that I get. Um, you know, the main reason I say, like, it's like the main reason that a lot of this stuff is really the way it is there's no reason, honestly. There's no real reason to all of it. It's just a lot of stuff is just the way it is because it's the way it is. But one thing that hasn't changed really is, like, the enjoyment of just being behind the camera, talking about whatever, it is Labor Day, so happy Labor Day out to everybody. We're getting very close to Christmas. Like, Christmas is very much nearing, and, like, we're so close to the end of the year already, and it's like, wow, this year, it's gone by, because in today's the 6th, I think, so about 4 days, we'll be 10 days into September. Like, that's insane. Like, for all the ups and downs this year may have had, the one thing that nobody else can say is that this year hasn't either A, gone by fast, or B, hasn't been very crazy for at least some of us in every single way. And some of us can, I can sit back and look on different stuff and be like, hey, that's definitely made me a better person. Some people, not so much. But the one thing that I can always say is, as long as you enter something better than you came out of it, you really can't say it was a failed experience. You can definitely say you didn't meet the expectation that you didn't want to meet, but you definitely can't say it was a failed experience. I feel, in a lot of ways. And that's kind of like what I try to do for my content and defining just the way it is, because there's lots of stuff that I've tried, didn't really work, but then I tried again, or I do something different, I tweak this, tweak that. It's a lot of trial and error. And I feel like in order to do something great on this program, and something great everywhere, there's a lot of trial and error that you have to take in life to really be able to succeed. Trial and error. Most people know I went through 3 jobs this year, but I finally found the job that I feel comfortable with and I feel like I'm steady with, and I enjoy doing it. The first job I had, I didn't really enjoy it. It was just a whole lot of fuckery. They liked to mess with my schedule. They liked to try to overwork me, and it wasn't fun. First job wasn't fucking fun, and fucking shit pay made it fucking worse. Second job, probably the highest pay per hour I ever had, but you can say it was highest pay, but if the work rate doesn't really match, you're not going to make a whole lot work wise. I think that's the best thing to really say. You're not going to make a whole bunch of work wise, and that's what finally led me kind of to this job. And that kind of led me to this job where I have a whole lot of work and I'm making a whole lot of money, because I'm making more money than I've been making ever because of it. And it's just, I'm blessed to be where I am. And that's all I can really say too much about that. But yeah, there is some. But now, um, there is one thing that I do want to say because it feels like every time I disappear, the climate of YouTube, the climate on here changes like every season's a different month. Because it feels like one month it's completely winter in here and it's like everybody's hibernating. And then the next month it feels like shit just hits the fan. It feels like shit hits the fan. And does a lot of stuff. And you know, and I sit and like every now and then I kind of sit and I kind of like comment on a lot of this stuff and I'm like, this stuff is pretty fucking stupid. These guys are over here looking like, you know, because a lot of these guys, um, who like to be on camera, who like to have their voice heard, who like to have their voice heard and like to have their stuff on camera. A lot of these guys are like grown men wearing diapers. I think that's the best way to really put it. Grown men wearing diapers, where it's all about who can talk the toughest shit, um, directing their opinions on other people, and basically it's a whole lot of stuff. It's back and forth. It's clashing of opinions. Basically ultimatums to the extreme. It's a lot of stuff, and it's like if Jerry Springer. It's like low budget Jerry Springer, but it's on like but because it's YouTube, it's viewable anytime. And it's sad to see a lot of these people act this way. And that people are over here trying to fight each other and people are like, well, next time I'm gonna drive all the way over there. So it's funny, it's stupid shit. It's stupid shit. But oh my god, you have nothing to watch it. But if you're up late at night, you got nothing else to watch. Watch some of that, and you'll either feel like a few things. One, you'll either be blessed that it's not you. Two, you'll have the equivalent of most people and think that this is fucking animals, or three, anything in between. Do you want to share it up? I basically am a supervisor at an office. That's pretty much what I do. For a drywall company, pretty much. That's pretty much what I do. Um, basically, get people appointments to get stuff repaired for them, to get walls in their house repaired or stuff in whether it's wall, a ceiling, anything that needs to get done. My job's try to schedule them, get them repaired, make sure people are doing what they need to do, make sure the technicians make it to their appointments and everything. It's a lot. You wouldn't think it would be a lot, but because we have a heavy workload and very low demand and very low people to fill the demand, yeah, it's pretty big. Um, but yeah, it's been but yeah, like it's nice, but it's nice, and I work mostly during the week, and and I like working daytime seasonally, because I came from once doing a night job, and I hated it. I'm not gonna lie, I hated doing night hours, especially not because it isn't for me, because shit, I'm like because I can do anything real. I can like because night hours. It wasn't so much that were really bad because I don't mind doing nights. 24-hour around the clock. I feel like I can do basically any shift that comes upon me. No problem. I feel like I can do any of them. It's just the shifts where it's just the jobs that I don't like the job itself, and then you gotta do it again at night, and then and you do it at night when you really want to go to sleep. Yeah, those are the ones that I really don't like. And having that, it's just it is what it is. It's life. Um, that's all I can. Lots of times I think that's just my best expression to a lot of stuff. It's life. Because in reality, it really is like because life's gonna take you like in a million different roads. There's like 10 million different roads, but in reality, you only take like a million. But in reality, you only take a fraction of those roads. But the thing is, some doesn't work. There's always another road to take. Life always continues on until it doesn't. And I think that's like my biggest piece for people is that, like, life always continues on. Like, there's more to life than what's on the surface. And I'm not here to boast about my life stories or whatever the fuck, but just sit here. It's just nice to kind of sit here and relax with some people. This, I do admit, it's a very awkward time for me to be on the air. Don't expect to see me very much on the air at this time. Because I'm not, I do want to talk about some stuff coming, like, am I going to come back to this channel to do more content? Honestly, I think the answer is yes. I do want to do more content. It's been a while because I have been wanting, because deep down, it's been a part of me that's really been wanting to stream for a while. And a part of me that just deeply wants to do that again and again and again. And I plan on it. I plan on being back here, doing more content, doing more streams, because this is what I do. This is what I like to do. Sit here, throw stuff at the wall, see what people like, see what people don't like. I like doing that. I like sitting here, being casual, being cool, talking about whatever. I like doing that. It's fun. It's fun to sit here and have casual conversations with people who aren't in the everyday world. It's fun to make, So yeah, like, and plus, I still need to do Live in a Cut. Live in a Cut is still, I think, is the baby of the channel. And season 3, I put it off for a while mainly because I was doing 2 different programs with other people on their channels, and they're not on hold. One really isn't on hold; it's coming back in just a little bit. The other one, I don't know so much about it. I think it is on hold. Hey, Danny, it's been quite a little. It's been a while since I've seen you. Danny, what's up, man? The other one, not so much on hold. It's just coming back a little bit. So, yeah. Goal is to come back on here, do some more content. Now that things have kind of settled, down, and now, I can get ready for things to kind of go back to what it was. Let's come back on here, do some more content. Probably, like, the biggest binge of content that I think I've ever did is coming up, honestly. And I do like sitting in, like, and I do want to do more of these cold opens every now and then. I consider these like sprinkles on top of the cut. I consider these like little sprinkles on top of cupcakes. These cold opens. Even though I consider myself very much one of the few solo performers on here in a lot of ways, and I'm working with a crew now, and it's very different. But I do consider myself one of the very solo guys on here who comes on here solo, who does most of his work solo, his promotion, his content, his material. I consider that a fun little thing to do, and that's gonna come back. Oh yeah, we're probably gonna do that. Oh, we'll probably do that. Go to Andrew's bingo hole next year and say 69 Power Rangers. Well, but the thing is, more than likely, what we're gonna do. Well, first of all, we're not gonna go there. The thing is, we're not gonna go there, and if you guys can, and if David, Danny, if y'all guys can come in here, great. If y'all can come in here, great. If not, what the fuck ever. But thing is, we're not gonna go up there first without having a stripper. That's rule number 1. That's like eating it. That's like eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich without the with the bread, with one side being the peanut butter, one side being the jelly, being completely flipped over. That's not how it works. You don't do that. But we're gonna do that anyways. And then we're gonna film a vlog of it. Like, that's how we do it, people. Stay tuned for 200,000 Hangouts, the one episode where we visit Andrew Hawking. Oh man, we're having an episode that's done inside his house. One day, I think we're gonna have an episode inside his house. Not gonna lie, but the thing is, sitting here being casual, like it's fun. It's something that. Oh, here, just join the chat. Here, just join in. Like, there. Like, you don't want to come in, fucking come in. Cold open. Like, even though I consider cold open program, I don't care. But yeah, that's, Live and Uncut Season 3, the long-awaited Season 3, I think. We're finally going to do it. We're finally going to go through with it. Cold open, more of that. Jack Williams, clutching in backstage. Hey, Jack, how's it been?
Oh, man, it has been quite a few months in the aftermath. Wow, what a turbulent time we're living in, aren't we?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Man, I don't know what to say, Ed. Man, I have been away for quite a long time. For a few months, actually. Excuse me. Hello, Danny. First off, and I can't believe I'm being part of your stream as well. I mean, in fact, I've been trying to lay low for a little bit of trying to ignore all the things that's been happening in the public in general, so to say, and I've been trying to avoid most of a confrontational thing, and that doesn't necessarily concern me, but it also I have to look at the objective. Hey, David, it's good to see you again, David.
You too, Jack.
At least do the gimmick.
Yes.
So hey,
Paige, what you just said there about our plans of going to Ring of Honor, I'm gonna put that in my new trailer.
Well, it's good that you're doing a good progress on your end, David. I'll give you that.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of that, David, you just started. I think you just started senior year. I think.
Yes, I did.
And he already had sex with 3 different girls.
No.
God damn it!
We gotta wait for prom. Wait for prom. That David's prom. You need David. I'm telling you, you need to do vlogs of your prom.
Trust me, David. I've been to the prom. Are you actually in the middle or high school? I'm sorry if I seem a bit invasive to you.
No, he's in high school, Jack.
Yeah, he's in high. Oh, don't worry about it, Jack. We're all pretty invasive on David's life.
Okay. I had to be sure because in my high school days, a lot of my classmates were drunk. Some of my classmates were drunk as fuck, and they got kicked out of the restaurant during the prom. So I would not try to be like that if I was them. So I would advise you to do the same thing for David, not to be drunk to any of his classmates. I would say that. So
I don't think his classmates will be getting drunk either.
Don't drink. Just get the hotel room and get a pretty girl.
Yeah,
that's what I would have. That's what I would say at that. But also, unless you're willing to drink,
Brandon.
Well, it looks like I have to stop it here until David comes back. But I suppose what I could tell you, Phenomenon, is I've been trying to lay low, and I'm starting to mellow a bit more than I would have usually do, mostly because of how tense my personality was. I'm going to be completely honest with you, and most of the things that I've been trying to deal with, and especially in my health issues I have been dealing with, I think I'm starting to ease myself a bit. And the fact that I've been going through so much things that has been happening in personal life, in and outside of the internet, it somewhat does it puts me at ease when you think about it. And I don't generally think anyone would. If you want to play some games to relieve your stress, that's one thing. And I try not to talk about a lot of what was happening in the public. So that's
yeah,
my
I
general.
I don't keep up like certain stuff. I keep up on some stuff. I could really just fuck it. Like that's kind of my expression to a lot of it. Is just you know what, kind of fuck it. I don't really give a shit about it.
I mean, we all feel different a lot of those days. I'll be completely honest with you. Those days are weird. I try not to keep up on a lot of drama things. And welcome back, David. And hey, Mason.
Hey, what's up?
Mason,
Hey,
long
Mason.
time no see. You've had quite a year so far.
Yeah, I really have.
Yeah, hope you're feeling a lot better, Mason.
Yeah.
So,
I
Paige,
just
I have a
recently
question.
just picked up my dog's asses.
Yeah. What's your question?
How do you like the new haircuts?
It fits perfectly with the Gilbert Burns persona that we're gonna give you.
Okay.
Oh,
And don't worry, I'm not gonna shave my head for that other guy.
Oh yeah. Well, if you do, fuck you. But in case you don't know, Danny like he wrote this mini novel of sorts, and I keep telling him, dude, you need to release this shit. You need to publish this shit.
oh my
Yes,
god!
But
and I think this will
because it
come out-
has real people's names, he doesn't want to do it. So that's when I just told him, dude, just change your name because I know that you put yourself in it. Change your name to Gilbert Burns. That will solve a lot of your issues right there.
No, I don't even know who it is. Who's Gilbert Burns? How did he find out about this?
I think
That's the point. Like
That's a
it'll
good
keep
idea.
that'll keep the point. And then just change this. Just make up like I'm pretty sure you have some names of cities in there.
Yeah.
So say
Change the
stuff
city.
like change the names of cities to stuff like in the middle of Euphoria.
Okay.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
By the way, I think this book will become Michael's next fan book.
I don't think so.
Oh god!
Yes.
So
Like
my-
just don't like at the end of the day, Danny, don't turn into another JD Salinger. Don't turn into another JD Salinger.
Why not? What's wrong with him? I don't know.
Unless you want to be known as the guy who wrote like millions of books but will never be released. Unless you want to be known as that guy.
I don't know.
oh,
That's pretty much like the legacy of JD Salinger. He's because after The Catcher in the Rye, he pretty much disappeared from the public.
very interesting. I have to be.
And the thing was, and like not many people know this, but he kept writing books.
Well, why wouldn't he release any of them?
He never wanted to release them because he didn't want to be known in the public after Catcher in the Rye. I don't know too much about it why, but I know for a fact that he never wanted to be known for being the guy who wrote The Catcher in the Rye. But he ended up writing The Catcher in the Rye. It was published. It was released. Then after that, he just disappears from the public for so many years. And he kept on writing books, but he never published any of them or released any of them. And he made this big note, I think, like in his will to never release the books.
Which is interesting because why would now generally I don't think anyone would have this kind of issue even if they did not want to go into public when it comes to writing a book, making a movie or video games. But when it comes to publishing a book, that's where it puts a bit of a different perspective for any other writers who write the book and anyone with that written name on it don't want to be published under any kind of circumstance unless there's a factual, well, I don't want to say factual, unless they have a doctrine to say that they would not allow anyone who has that book to be published anywhere in general public. And that's just what it really boils down to. Who was his name again? So I can remember his name. The writer. Just asking because I must have I must have
JD
missed it.
Salinger.
JD
JD
Okay.
Salinger.
JD Salinger. Okay, JD Salinger. Okay, Salinger.
Yeah,
will be-
JD Salinger. Yeah.
Okay, I will be able to remember that Salinger. So Salinger, I've never heard of this individual much, and he hasn't been in the public after he published the first book because generally I do think that he wants to progress a little slower than any other writers or creators of the show or whatever the case may be. To
Well, granted, he published this book. This book was back in the 50s. Right? Catcher in the Rye. That was back in the 50s.
oh, so it's a how do I put this? So it's 7 decades long book.
Yeah, it's like this book was in the 50s, and and you probably don't know so much about it because like it's a big part of American literature.
Mhm.
But like he published this book way back in the it was like early 50s that he published Catcher in the Rye. And while he does have a lot of other stuff in his name, Catcher in the Rye is the one thing that when you look at it, oh yeah, that's JD. And he does have some published book, but he has so many unpublished books where I think that's the big intrigue there.
Mm-hmm. That's somewhat kind of similar to what we have our writers and writer and literature or artists that does publish that even throughout the 50s in European countries no less, although the history is a little bit different, so that requires a bit of a clarification, which I'm not a literature artist, nor do I read every kind of books that I do, but this was in former Yugoslavia when you think about it. In America, that's entirely different story. They do publish a book every now and then, even with a literal translation that originate from America that can be translated over to my language that I speak. But that's entirely different subject, so I'll have to speak up that for another time. But JD is something that I've never heard of before, whatever reason, and I thought to myself, if I was that kind of guy that I never published any kind of video that end up being unpublished anywhere, I'd be like JD. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just saying.
Oh man, David, you went from My Pillow to Andrew Hawking.
Yes. But if I
How
was
was
him,
y'all's
I would make
weekend?
it. I would make the will to where after I die, then they can release the books. Because once you're dead, you can't control them. And that's probably
Yes, you're right. You're right, Danny. You're right. Unless you're dead at it, you would not allow anyone to publish your book or video.
I would allow it though. I don't know.
How was y'all's weekends?
It was good.
Yeah, I went to Oklahoma.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Visited some
Oklahoma.
friends. I went to go see Candyman.
The horror movie?
Yeah, the horror movie, new horror movie.
Who can take a sunrise? No, we're not gonna sing that shit. That's the song about RTD. No.
Oh, Danny.
Oh shit! Now I feel.
But Danny, anyways, how is Walgreens?
Well, we gotta teach the new hire some tricks because right now she just wants to ring up at the counter and not vacuum or take the trash out. So hopefully, I'll give her a pep talk and then that'll put a bug in her ear to say, hey, you got to do this. So, yeah. Because if she gets cans, then I'm stuck to working on like the entire weekends again, and I don't want to do that. Because this weekend I had to work Friday morning and Sunday night. So in between then I had a lot of time. So after Friday shift, I went to my friend James's house, and we were naturally stoned, and then I spent the night there. Then at 10 in the morning, I woke up, drove home, and then got to see some family at my house, and then Sunday I worked from 2 p.m. to 10. It was fun.
But I do have one interesting question for you, Danny, at the Walgreens that you work at. Are you required to answer the phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I think I might know where the game.
Yeah, but just make sure I'll answer the phone and say thank you for calling Walgreens. So.
Yeah, so I think I'll put in a private chat.
Okay, fair enough.
But before you ask, no, I wasn't trying to. No, I'm not planning to do prank calls for you. No.
Oh. I thought I was like.
Well, yeah, I mean, if the phone just rings, it's not like we're gonna let it ring the entire time because what if it's someone important?
Unless we're talking to pizza prank call, I wouldn't try that.
But what the? Oh, I see. Um. So, but then while you're working with your prep talk, just don't forget to promote. You know, that's number one rule.
Yeah, I'll tell her to watch David 3000's YouTube channel. That's great content.
I really wish I was able to attend to David's stream, but unfortunately, I had a lot of things going on in my life, shall I put it bluntly. And quite frankly, I'm not able to reach every possible stream, so I will be able to attend unless there's a specific thing that's pertaining to something that might interest me. But at the same time, I really do feel like you, David, are actually kind of a good individual, despite that you look younger than anyone I would possibly even imagine for what I can tell you. I mean, you cool folks, and you, Mason, Phenomenal One, and Danny, I do believe that you're much more of a cool individuals, more than I could ever appreciate. I mean, hell, if I had never met you, Phenomenal One, even due to shitty circumstances I was in, I'm happy to say that you're a good individual at my book, and I don't think I would have. I don't think it would be right if I never saw you anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
But possibly, I could tell you this. David. I do believe that you have a brighter future ahead of you. When I look at your content, and I think you do have one.
Thank you, Chad.
So I got to give you that, and I do mean that in a sense that unless you are going to get hit for something that you never did on YouTube, I think you do have a brighter future ahead of you. So I'll give you that.
Thank you, Chad. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I want to thank everyone for watching my videos. As I'm almost, let's see how many subscribers I am right now.
I might have to get going. I'm gonna set up some posters in my room.
All right,
Okay.
Mason. I'll see you again.
All right.
Thanks for letting me on.
All right,
everyone.
Mace.
You have a good one. All right.
All right.
Hi.
You take care, man.
One.
So right now I have 629 subscribers. So that's pretty good. More subscribers than a certain individual. I'll just leave it at that.
Six,
The one thing I
29.
do have to say is that, like, even though like I kind of just stopped doing content for some reason, I don't even know how this was possible, but my sub count just kept going up.
Yeah.
Like,
And
It must be your impromptu live in the cup ones because those are the best ones. Because you know
Oh,
what?
yeah.
well, don't get me wrong, a lot of people are still watching a lot of that live on cut stuff, and it's like
Well,
shit.
Well, you know, Paige. You know what they say: drama goes wherever it goes.
Stop saying that.
I'm staying out of that.
That's probably good, Jack. Anyway, and we got a new show coming out. It's called Lock It Up, where we talk about people that go to prison.
How funny is that?
Okay, that's a parody right there. That's a parody.
You know that like there's this one reality show, and it's called like Life After Lockup.
Huh.
Life After Lockup. That's actually a new one.
I've never heard of that. Is that on like?
Well, my mom watches it all the time. Personally, I think it's one of the more stupid reality shows ever. Although the premise, the premise in reality makes good sense, but I don't know. I just find it stupid. But because the thing is, they take people. It's either Life After Lockup or I think it's Love After Lockup. One of the two. I think it might be Love After
Actually,
Lockup.
either of the two, but it could be easily confused one thing to another. So I have to do a bit of a research on that if I want.
Do you know what channel it's on?
We TV.
I don't know. I don't know what channel it's on. I don't off the top of my head. But I do know like it's this show where like they go through these lives of people who have just got out of prison and they're looking to find love or something. I don't know. It's like Love Connection meets Post Prison. I think that's the best way to really describe it, honestly. Love Connection meets Post Prison.
Interesting.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I'm not gonna lie, like that. Since we got David and Danny here, like the stuff that like we've been doing on David's channel, that God, that was some great stuff. Not gonna lie.
It was, yeah.
My favorite were the prank calls, and that's those are good. And also episode 25 will be sometime around the week of September 19th. I haven't decided yet. I'm thinking about doing like a little interview with someone. I won't say who, but just like check in with that certain person. I'll check in with the dates and
Hey, I got an idea. Next time I'm at someone's house, I'll give one of you guys their phone number so you can prank call them, and then they'll be like, I never
God,
know.
God damn it!
Oh,
Oh my lordy!
like it was fun. Like I'm not gonna lie, like that, like those whole past episodes, it was fun doing something it was fun doing something that was very different.
oh yeah,
Even though in reality it's not something that's completely shockingly brand new, but it was different from what other people were doing, and it was different from a lot of stuff that we were doing previously.
yeah. It's like
To put it lightly.
at the beginning of this year.
Yeah, it was different from a lot of that stuff, and it was and it's fun doing that. It was fun doing that, and like we're definitely gonna do more stuff. We're gonna keep coming up with new stuff, and like that's obviously the goal. And
And I think we should. I think maybe sometime soon I might get sponsors. Like I might
But-
ask people like if they want to pick up their channels as sponsors. I could do that. And maybe Rook Energy can be part of it. Who knows?
Right.
But
When I heard you, oh man. So my part of me actually I felt like you kind of stopped doing your content all, and there's part of the reason why you haven't done any kind of content, especially after months of when the debacle has been going on behind the scenes. So I'm not even gonna hint it, but what it really does is how many subscribers you have right now, Phenomenal One?
I'm like I'm near 260, I think, something like that, around there.
You're actually getting up there. We're actually started somewhere smaller at a time. I mean, hell, when I first started doing my YouTube in 2008, I was actually small. And at that time, I was a bit tiny, so I didn't have that much subscribers even here at the time. So I've been on the YouTube for 13 years at that time, because since I joined it in June 4th, 2008. Talk about a long time that I have been on the YouTube of it, even though I shouldn't be there, because I was, shall I say, I was 12 years old. How could I be that stupid? I'm not even kidding you. I'm not even kidding you, Phenomenal One. I was 12 years old at the time, at that age, and even though I wasn't supposed to be there, at least I asked my father, "Can I have my Gmail account and then open my YouTube account?" And then he said, "Yeah, you can do that, but I will be supervising you. That's why for parents must supervise you, because you never know what you're gonna do, or they never know what you're gonna do. That's mainly the main thing that you have to do. Take it.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I think I started my channel around like when I was like near that same age. I started making like my own content probably like probably when I was like 13 or 14. Like it was a long time since like I made my own content. And River, it's been a while since I've definitely seen you. Oh God, Tay, I need to catch up with you, fucking River. God damn, it's been a fucking minute.
I gotta get out of here. But
All right, Danny. I'll see you
All
again.
right, Danny, don't get stoned again.
So you were at time. You started at the same age as I was, yes?
Yeah, I think I started around the same age as she did. Yeah.
But But here's the difference, though. I didn't start posting any content until 3 years later, in summer of 2011, after I graduated my middle school, or should I say elementary school, because we have a different school systems here in my country where I live. I started doing an actual walkthrough of a childhood game that I used to play, and I actually have it archived, believe it or not. I might potentially, I don't know when it's going to be shown, because it has. I'll be blunt with you. My first actual walkthrough was really, I wouldn't say bombastic, but it actually had a substantial amount of views. So we're talking like hundreds of thousands of views. Hundreds of thousands of views.
Oh, what's that little page? There you are, page.
Yes. It actually had a substantial amount of views. We're talking hundreds of thousands of views.
Yeah, those were the old days. Like those were the old days of my YouTube. Like those were the old days of my YouTube channel. Like that was 2015. Like that was 2015. I was 2015. Like when like I was really like into making my own content. I think that was like that was one of like the more videos I remember doing. Like that was a while back. I remember like just like being like in that area, like being in that area in my old house, and like and I would just do videos, and like I don't even remember like doing them a lot. Like now, like nowadays, like if I really want to, I can say like, oh, that was just me playing characters and stuff. No, that was me being this know-it-all like 14-year-old kid. Like,
oh god.
Like that was me being this big know-it-all 14-year-old kid and all this other kind of stuff.
Oh man.
And Paige, I'm have to do something else, so I'll see you there. Have a good rest of the stream, Paige.
All right, David. I'll see you again. So, you had this kind of a know-it-all 14-year-old kind of mentality. Is that?
Yeah.
I honestly can't believe that. I actually had the same kind of mentality. Well, actually, not in the same way as you did, although it gradually started to grow on me as soon as I started doing my content on my YouTube channel, which it was old one that I completely shut it down for obvious reasons I'm not going to get into. It really boiled down. It really amazes me how much views I had when I had when I posted a walkthrough, and I say, you know what, I really got to post this walkthrough and post it on YouTube so that everyone can see what they've been missing out so far, especially for younger children in there, those who used to play it in their childhood. So I was actually, at the time, I was 15 years old. Believe it or not, I was 15 years old, and I'm thinking to myself, and looking back now, 10 years later after I posted that, we're talking about decade later. I feel like I somewhat accomplished it, and I somewhat kind of felt proud of it, what I did after I showed that particular childhood game I used to play, and they were ecstatic after I posted it. And I actually had view accounts that I actually had about 201,233 views of my very first actual walkthrough. That's pretty substantial. Substantial views that I got even after 1 decade later. So I kind of feel proud. Even I've seen in a lot of comments that they totally missed that game so much, even after this had happened, after I posted it. So I kind of rejuvenated, and in some sense, it kind of made it a bit of a renaissance when that happened. But nowadays, this just feels old to me. Even then, I feel like it's not the same thing as it once was, but I still do cherish that from day to day.
Oh yeah. Like, because like when I was getting started, like, because I had that mentality of like, I'm gonna do YouTube, I'm gonna make money off it, and all this other kind of stuff, because this was back when. Because when I started doing YouTube, this was back when the idea was you could make money off doing this.
Yes, and you can do, and you could have done that. And this is actually this has actually happened to me. I actually earned only $13 when I posted that first walkthrough day. Hey, Jonathan.
Yeah, hey, Jonathan. Hey, what's up, man?
It's the only it's the only revenue that I only earned about $13, and that's that. And I couldn't earn any more than that, even if I wanted to. So I kind of felt like I was being ripped off at that time, kind of, but I also somewhat felt like I actually earned a little bit of money even after the first actual walkthrough I made. Even if I could have done it over it again, it actually had to be an actual full walkthrough with no commentary whatsoever. Because keep in mind, my commentary was just, hey,
Hey,
good day.
Jonathan.
How you doing, Jonathan?
Fine, doing fine as usual.
As it should be. My commentary was just utter trash. For a while, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I was stuttering a lot, even though at that time you were stuttering a lot because you had no idea what you're supposed to say, even when you're trying to record actual walkthrough, which is really embarrassing. And I can actually confirm that to you because that was the kind of age and mentality that you were trying to say something while you're recording the portion where you're trying to record a game and doing a commentary at the same, which is really stressful. Not many people can actually do that when they do the Let's Play commentaries. I mean, keep in mind the Let's Play games wasn't so much of a prevalent as it was back when YouTube was having its own kind of prime thing at the time, even after when YouTube was having its thing in 2005, which was founded in February of, I might be wrong on that, February of 2005. So Let's Play was not a kind of a prevalent thing even after 5 years since its foundation. But years later, Let's Plays are actually kind of a norm, even though I somewhat not in favor of having a Let's Play commentary when you do a game. Things like Call of Duty 3 or Modern Warfare, whichever the games you could think about the top of your head. And that was my kind of embarrassing moments of what I had at that. And I'm just going to be flat out honest with you. I was trash at doing commentary while I'm making a walkthrough of the game.
Oh man, you were doing trash commentary, man. I consider myself. Oh my god, I consider myself back then. I consider myself a really trash YouTuber. Oh my god.
Oh my god. So you actually confirming that to me when. I mean, it's not fair for me to compare myself to you, but is it actually true that you were a trashy commentator?
I wouldn't I would consider myself more a trashy ranter, but but oh my god, like I look back at some of that content, like I don't watch it because like it's trash, but I look back at it and I'm like, oh my god, yeah, I was pretty trashy back then. Oh my god. Like, oh my god, I see why I would get roasted the fuck out of hundreds of times in the comment section. But the thing was, I didn't care. I was enjoying just sitting behind a camera and making videos or whatever.
Yeah.
But like looking back at like a lot of that old stuff now, it's like I can sit back and I sit back and I laugh on it now because I'm a much different person mentally and physically than I was 5-6 years ago.
Indeed, even 10 years ago. Comparing to that, I think we were completely different. We were at a teenage kids where we were in an age of what we have a geeky personality. We have when we're doing that we inherited from our fathers or mothers. So when they do the IT stuff, we've inherited that, but then it becomes a bit of a prevalent when we start doing our own thing. So I feel like some of us have retained some of those personality that we used to have, but some things that needed to be changed in order to differentiate ourselves. So when we became, I mean, granted, I've been somewhat of a petulant child, and let's be honest, I did actually post some stupid. I actually posted a stupid comment to a certain individual. I'm not going to say it out of respect. And I was that angry. Believe it or not, I was that angry when I was 12 years old. And Jesus Christ, so looking back at it now, I somewhat regretted having saying this, but I looked at this individual. He didn't want to show his face when doing an actual review of a game. So what can I tell you? That was really... my dumbass 12-year-old self was just flat out mad when I posted a comment, I got when you see comments like this, I gotta kill you, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill you. It's always those teenage, age 12-year-old kids that does.
Oh
that.
yeah.
They do that. And I was actually one of those. I feel somewhat ashamed being part of that, but I somewhat felt different than who I was in 10 years later, even more than 10 years.
But like the craziest thing that I kind of look back and I think about is how my views never really changed from back then, which makes it even kind of crazier in retrospect. Because I could do a pre-tape video and it would probably do about the same as some of my old ones would do.
Oh yes, I remember some people actually did.
Which is kind of crazy because like I look back at it, I'm like, wow, I could because a lot of my like stuff from last year was doing just as good numbers as some of my stuff from like 4 or 5 years ago. Which when I look at it, I'm like, that's crazy. Because a lot of people, they lose a lot of traction. Like, because I remember when McJuggernuggets was this big thing.
Oh yes.
And his videos had millions, like the Psycho series had millions and millions of views. Now, most of his videos don't even pass 1 million. And in a way, I look back at that and I'm like, that's crazy how a channel, like how a lot of channels that were so popular, like when I was first really starting to really use YouTube, how nowadays they're like a fraction of what they used to be view-wise. Like, that's crazy. I always think that's crazy, and that's insane. And part of me, when I came back to really doing YouTube, like last year when I came back to doing it, part of me was like, what if I'm going to have this? Like, I already didn't have much, but then if I only get so little, like, oh my God, that would have been just a hit to the heart. That would have been such a soul-crushing hit. But
yeah,
I was lucky to where I didn't have much to begin with, so I had something that I could start and grow upon, and I grew upon it. I plan to continue growing on it, and it's crazy that if it.
It is absolutely nutty when you think about. I mean, that most of us who's just started off, even after 3 years of signing up to be on a YouTube, on my part, it's actually one of the few rewarding. Well, it's not. I wouldn't say rewarding because it doesn't feel. The word doesn't sound right when I say rewarding. I feel like it's more of it's a privilege thing, more so than I could think of it off the top of my head. But when you start doing a content, you start doing recording, even though some of our recording software you had was somewhat a bit of a laggy, because granted, my actual workflow was a bit of a lagging one. So some parts were lagging out or cut out for a few seconds when audio wasn't syncing properly with the pictures. That's the sort of thing you kind of encounter. And looking back at it now, I feel like I did accomplish, but I wish I could have used a better recording software than I have right now. So, admittedly, I could have used a bit of a different recording software, but this is what I had. I actually used a recording software called HyperCam 3. HyperCam 3, that's what it's called. And it was lagging. It was somewhat lagging. It didn't synchronize with the audio properly. So that's one of the main issues that I've encountered. But when I noticed with the other footage, so I did a walkthrough, it actually somewhat synced up a bit, but there was still a bit of a lag. There was still a sound that's somewhat lagging behind it. But at least it was better than nothing. I mean, in those old days, that's where it started to go off. And now, a few months, well, actually, kind of a month when I look at it now, oh god, River is actually. I gotta be completely honest with you. When I looked at it now, because I actually have a date. I actually have a date and time for this because some of these old videos I made, I do believe the one that I made is actually about, let me look at it now, about a month after I made an actual walkthrough of a game. So I started doing a video editing project, which is actually my very foundation doing it. It's actually in a matter of 5 days, it's going to be, let me look at it now because I want to make sure I got it right. In about 7 days from now, it's actually going to be 10 years since I started doing video editing. Did I forget to mention that I'm actually a video editor and I started doing my own kind of thing when it comes to putting a lot of clips up from shows that you're familiar with and whatnot? That's the kind of thing I started doing it, and I actually discovered it myself using. It's gonna sound ridiculous when I say this, but I actually use Windows Movie Maker 2.6, which is still trashy to this day.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to admit, even though Windows Movie Maker, or WMM for short, 2.6 is still a trashy thing, at least it's somewhat usable. But you have to take into consideration what's going to happen if it's going to freak is the hell out. So I had to constantly rely on that, but at least it didn't fail on me every time I had to say. So I got to be lucky on that. But anyway, I started doing a video editing project about almost 10 years now. Looking back now, I looked at it and say, I feel like I could actually remake some of this, even though that was the starting point when I initially made a video editing project. This is how I discovered myself with the use of the internet, believe it or not. And honestly, I somewhat accomplished it, but at the same time, back then, when you look at it this way, there's a lot of copyrighted music issues that you have to look at it in consideration, because keep in mind, a lot of these people who does the animated music project that they do still to this day using copyrighted song materials that they had to go through legal processes and stuff like that, which I'm not going to go into. I actually had one strike in my channel, believe it or not. One strike because of a particular music I made, because it's a fan-made one. I want to make that clear. It's considered lost. It is considered a loss, which is a shame. Well, I actually posted on YouTube. It's because of the copyright. And I honestly feel like I would have done something differently, but I got one copyright strike, and that's that on my channel, which I do believe it was in 2012. Now looking back at now, and I think, what was I doing that I posted something that was considered legitimately copyright something? Because keep in mind, a lot of copyright songs that we use to this day is still copyrighted, no matter how you want to look at it. Which I am not going to go there, but I think still to this day, I did feel like I was a bit wonky when I was doing video editing stuff. So that was my bad, and you learn and grow from there. So
oh yeah, you always learn from there. But anyways, this was a nice little conversation, and I think we're about to kind of wrap up this little bit of a short little stream. Nice to kind of just,
I suppose,
come back here, hit the surface of the ice a little bit. There'll be more content. There'll be more content. We'll be sure of that. We'll finish out the season live uncut. Who knows? But stay tuned for this. Stay tuned to the channel for more content. Until then, we'll see you next time.
I'll see you again.